Hey, how's it going? I thought it would be a good idea to show the A-frame chicken coop. I'm going to show both my chicken coops actually, and even a third one that I'm in the process of getting ready for next season. But starting off, this A-frame was my first coop on this property, and it just seemed to me like a good idea to show kind of what I had put together, because I'd looked up a few different designs, and this is what I ended up with. All right, oh, there's one of the girls there. All right, so I put a nice front door on this. So the whole enclosed run area, I mean, right now the chickens are free ranging. I made it so the whole base of this thing is 8 feet wide by 16 feet long. And then I took two 8-foot boards, made the peak to give this thing the A shape. And the wheels here, they're really cool. I can lift this thing up just by pushing down on the wheel. It lifts the whole A-frame. And what I do is I slide a pin through the hole here and into a pre-drilled hole down in the frame. And then I can wheel this thing around when the ground is nice and hard. Obviously in the wet season up where I am, the clay gets pretty soft, so you end up having to run it with boards. So looking at the inside, I've got a vent hole in the top there, just so the birds don't get a little too hot. They get some more airflow. Now this ramp that's here, I can lift it up. So I've got a little chain here where I close it up at night, just so if anything gets into the A-frame itself, the birds themselves are safe up top there, where I've got netting and mesh just so nothing can get up to them. I've just opened the back just for a little more light. And I just hooked the chain right now on a hook there. And I've got this board here that I just swing over as well to keep it locked and closed. All right, so coming around the other side now, I just had some leftover roofing metal, and that's what I ended up putting on the sides. And I ran it along the whole top as well, just so if the birds were out and it were raining, it just kept a little more of the weather off of them. In the back, I built a couple frames just so I can slip in some plastic totes to use as their nesting boxes. I don't have them in there right now because the birds themselves are in my other coop getting ready for winter. But what I would do is just inside, seeing if I can get the light going, inside I would just hang some food containers down from up above, the hanging feeders and waters, so in the winter time they don't have to leave this protected enclosure unless they really felt like it. But everything, it's nice to keep self-contained. Now this little door here, that's all I would do to close them in for the night. And underneath, if they do want to come out during the day, because of the metal sides, they're fully protected underneath there from any of the elements. And sometimes in the winter, I will even put boards on this outer section here just so the wind doesn't pass right on through. Really depends on the conditions that we're experiencing. All right, so these other sheds here, that one that's right there, that's my current chicken coop, but it used to be for goats, and I've modified it for chickens. That shed right there, I've just poured that pad and reassembled an old plastic resin shed on it. And I'm going to be attaching an enclosed run to it so I can have the chickens free ranging. Well, they can be fully enclosed and safe from coyotes or anything on any days that I'm away from home. But any time I am home or my family's home, we just let the chickens roam the entire field. Right now, they're I see one over there in that other paddock area, and they like to just get the full range of what we've got out here. So yeah, I've got a little door that's cut here already, so I'll just be flapping that open, having this all caged in, and I'll be able to fit about 16 birds into that come springtime. But this coop here, right, so I had to close in the door a little more so that having this man door here was a little more reasonable than the very large opening it had. And it's going to be due for a clean. But those are the nesting boxes I built. And what I do, I've got them about 11 inches deep, 12 inches wide, and about 14 inches tall for each one. And the chickens, I mean, they like to hang out and sleep on top at night. They jump up in the rafters of this shed as well. But these buckets I've got here, I mean, all I did is I purchased a couple food grade buckets, and these little feeders here, I got those off Amazon, and it was, I think I paid about $30 for a package that came with 6 of them. So here I've got 2 buckets hanging, and sometimes I'll switch up and have a different type of food in one bucket and the regular layer hen pellets in another. And while they free range, they hardly even eat from these things. But in the wintertime, that's when they'll start getting their use. And my waterer here, well, and there's Maple, come to hang out again. So the waterer here, what I've got underneath, people love it when you say it, but these are called chicken nipples. And what they do is the chickens will touch them, and then the water drips out, and that's how they get their drink. But come wintertime, what I do is I just put a bucket in here and fill it with fresh water every day. So I'll come in the morning, dump out the ice, and then give them some fresh water. So that's it. In a nutshell, it's real easy actually keeping chickens. I mean, with the 9 hens that I have in here, we get anywhere from 6 to 9 eggs a day. And I mean, nothing compares to the eggs you get from your own chickens. The yolk is much darker. It's not pale like you would get in a regular store. And when they say free range in a store as well, all they've got to do is open the door, and if the chickens don't even go out because of the condition they're in, they can still call it free range. Whereas here, free range means they are eating grubs, they're eating bugs, grasshoppers, crickets. They are just feasting all day long. And it cuts down on the feed, and it keeps the birds happy. I mean, there they are. And it looks like you can contain them in different little paddock areas as well. However, these fences, they're only about 4 feet tall, and they can easily jump over them. I don't clip flight feathers or anything like that. I'm just not into doing that. But I do know that if I wanted to keep them in any of my paddock areas, what I would do on top of each post is just put in an eye bolt up here, and then run some even weed whacker twine. And I've seen some research on that the chickens, because they can't sit on it or grab onto it, they won't jump over, because a metal fence, it's nice and sturdy for them to jump on and hold on to and then go over, because they don't actually jump and fly over. They like to land first. So just having any kind of wire or anything here to interfere with them landing, and I've got them contained. But like I said, I prefer them free ranging. It controls ticks, everything else. So this is what's working now, and I'm hoping that in the spring I can even triple the number of birds I've got, so I can keep taking care of my friends who need some eggs. Anyways, thanks for listening, checking this out, and I'll see what I can post and share later.